At that time I was in construction, so at the end of the camp, I said I could probably just go back to work and build something for us to stand on.
Wow, so you literally made it yourself.
Yeah.
And you were able to get it in the hands of professional athletes like LeBron James, entire NBA teams. How did you manage to pull that off?
Crazy, the Cavs, one of the Cavs strength coach, Derek Melander, reached out.
The Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly, along with my co-host, Wayne Lewis.
What up, what up?
And our guest today, Slant Board Guy.
How you going?
Doing well, man. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Finally good to get here.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the product and how you got started. I mean, I use it every day. It's a great product.
Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy journey. I've never been in business, and I broke my ankle when I was 11. So I got 2 screws in there holding my ankle together, so I got no mobility. I've always been into fitness. This is just the short version. And I couldn't squat. So I went to a fitness camp and there was a heap of people there squatting and I couldn't do it. So we put some timber underneath my feet. And at that time I was in construction. So at the end of the camp, I said I could probably just go back to work and build something for us to stand on. So I went back to work and built a wedge, and the rest is kind of
wow. So you literally made it yourself.
Yeah. I went to work, made it, and then gave it to one of the guys. And we didn't have any social media, didn't have Facebook, didn't have anything at all. And they said, they come and picked it up, and they said, this is awesome. And I'm like, I just built it in a day. Like it wasn't anything fancy.
So how much does it weigh?
That's about 2.4 kilos. I don't know what's that in pounds.
Yeah, and what's the science behind it?
Yeah,
like the angle and everything.
It was really like trial and error. Like when we first started, like there was no specific angle that I'd built it to. So originally we started at 30 degrees and then sent a few out to some people and they said it was a bit too steep. So we played around with some angles, and then when we started getting some feedback that everyone liked the angle that we used, that's when we locked it in. And
so what's the angle at now?
27 degrees.
27 degrees. So
wow.
what does it actually do for the human body? Like what are the benefits?
Oh, there's huge amounts of benefits. I think like the biggest thing that popularized like our product was knees over toes guy, and knee health, but predominantly like people with no ankle flexion.
What does it do for the knee?
Well, when you squat and your knee goes further over your toe, it puts more emphasis on your VMO, and most people say that the VMO is what protects your knee the most. So
and where's the VMO located?
Just this part.
Okay.
This
is that where your meniscus is?
Yeah, your meniscus is on the front, and then this is just on the side here. So
got it.
It's just the VMOs. Everyone like Ben, knees over toe, come out and probably put the word and everything around it, and people been. He's just popularised the movement. To be honest, there was a few other coaches training kind of similar along the way, but he popularised it to.
Yeah, knees over toes guy. That's how I found out about you guys.
Nice.
So did you file a patent on the design?
Yeah. So on the original one that you've got, we've got a design patent.
Nice.
And then on this one, we've got a design and a pending utility.
And you were able to get it in the hands of professional athletes like LeBron James, entire NBA teams. How did you manage to pull that off?
That's crazy. How'd you get it to LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron, I think the way it happened is the Cavs, one of the Cavs strength coach, Derek Melander, reached out, and the Cavs bought about 8 or 10 boards off us. And I think he's friends with LeBron's coach, personal coach. So then they reached out, and so that's how that all happened. And I think Spencer Dinwiddie, it's nearly like in all the NBA teams, the NFL teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Once your product is so good, it speaks for itself, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I love about your story, but we haven't even done any social media marketing
at all.
None,
wow.
Not once.
How many items have you sold? How many boards have you sold so far?
Around the vicinity of 50 to 60,000.
Jeez,
that's crazy.
At what price?
129, 135.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to do the math. That's a lot of money.
these are actually going to last forever too. Like, all you need is one, right? You don't have to. They don't break. They don't bend. They don't.
Yeah. So
like
originally we made the timber one that Sean's got.
Indestructible in a way, right?
Yeah, and that one's super cool. And then so we're thinking like, what can we do? We designed this one so like you can kind of travel with it. You can put it.
You didn't get into business to run payroll, did you? That's okay. I didn't either. Now there's Gusto. Gusto not only offers payroll, but also benefits, onboarding, and HR all in one place to more than 300,000 businesses. Maybe you want federal, state, and local payroll taxes to be filed automatically no matter where your employers work, or maybe you want to offer a 401k plan to help your employees save for retirement. Do you have compliance with regulations? 3 out of 4 employers say Gusto makes it easier to be compliant with the government. With Gusto's simple, guided software and user-friendly interface, payroll and HR are no longer exhausting, they are rewarding. Gusto was built for small businesses from the start. Gusto takes the pain out of payroll benefits and HR and puts the joy back into running your business. Gusto also integrates with your favorite tools like QuickBooks, Xero, Google, and more. Want all this and more with no hidden fees? Try it out for 3 months for free at gusto.com/social. That's gusto.com/social.
Your bag pretty easy, and then you can hook resistance bands onto the side of it. So for all the guys that do a lot of traveling.
So these hooks are for resistant bands.
Yeah, they're specifically located so you can put, if you put your foot a little bit on the board or all the way on the board. But yeah, so then you can travel with it. It comes with resistance bands, and then if you're in a hotel, you can pretty much get a full workout just with that.
Wow.
Yeah. My mother tore her meniscus. Do you think she can recover without the surgery that they keep recommending, like just naturally?
100%.
Yeah, like I'm trying to instill that into her, but
and how?
I think one, I'd be just definitely looking at what knees over toes guy does, but his ROKP, I think is his big thing. So it's like reverse out knee pain. So if you've been watching his stuff, but it's like the first thing he recommends to anyone is just walking backwards.
Yep. I do that every day.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's like something that's so simple.
Yeah. People look at me crazy, but I'm like, I know.
I used to do it walking up a hill though.
Yeah.
I go on this walk in 7 hills before it got cold, and I would walk backwards up a hill. So people do look at you crazy. They drive past like, what the?
Yeah.
That'd be just like the next progression, right? Like, so for someone like Sean's mum, might be just like on flat ground, walking backwards and then up a hill, and then
why isn't that like talked about, walking backwards? Or why do you think that is? And I mean, there's definitely a lot of benefits to it. I feel like it strengthens the whole back of your leg, everything about the back of the legs.
I don't know. I think for
you never hear people mention it.
I think for so many years, man, everyone was trained the same, right? So it's like, and no one ever wants to be the outcast one to bring something to light. And I think that's why Ben like just exploded onto the scenery. I think when we first met him, I think he had 20,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
He blew up after that Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. Well, I met him when he had 20,000. He did a Zoom call and no one hopped on the Zoom call. I was the only one on the Zoom call.
Wow.
And that's when he started talking about sled work, dragging the sled and pushing the sled.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we don't have a gym. In our gym, we don't have a sled. What do we do? He's just like, let me get back to you in a week. Got back to me in a week and said, turn the treadmill off and walk backwards on the treadmill like a dead mill. So you see it all over the internet now at the moment. Everyone's got the treadmill turned off and walking backwards.
It's great, man. Are you a fan of stretching at all?
Yeah, like it's, again, the traditional training I was doing when I was playing sport is we weren't really doing too much of it, right? So it's like, I think it's huge.
What sport did you play?
Rugby league.
Rugby. And you weren't stretching?
True?
Wow.
No.
I've heard stretching deactivates the muscle. Is that true?
I know there's a difference between the static stretch and the quick ones.
Right.
And the certain timing is better for each one.
Yeah, going back to your question, when we were doing rugby league, it was like squat, deadlift, bench press. It was always just that. And I think now people are starting to realise, and it's a bit more, that's why I like coming to America so much, because athletes are paid so much. It's like every coach out there is just looking for like the 1%, like what's the top 1% we can do? Like, can we change this or can we change that? Because athletes are getting paid so much money, right? Like, so for an organisation, if they're getting injured and they're out for a long time, it's
cost them a lot.
It's cost them a lot, right? So I think that they look at every tiny little bits and pieces and like the 0.5% or whatever it is. They'll go and try it. So it's like, it's very, very different to what's going on in Australia at the moment.
Do you think plyometrics would have been good for rugby players?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the problem we have in Australia is I think that a lot of our strength coaches and a lot of our coaches that are in sport, they are from that sport 20 years ago. Right? So like,
And it's evolved.
yeah, so it's the sport's evolved and the players evolved. Like they're bigger, faster, stronger.
Right.
They play longer minutes, but the coaching I don't think's evolved to that level.
Yeah. Rugby is a fun sport to watch.
Yeah,
No, it's painful sport. That shit look
Yeah. Why do you think there's so many injuries in rugby?
What do you mean, Sean?
No, like seriously.
Rugby is a tough sport.
There's more than football.
Yeah, but they have no pads. It's just
Oh, there's no pads?
no, we don't wear pads.
in rugby.
Whoa.
You haven't seen a rugby game?
No, I saw it. I thought they had pads under the clothing.
No, like some people wear them, but I think, like I said to you
Rugby's
before, is
dangerous.
that so we don't, like you guys, the game stops and starts, right? Mm-hmm. So we play 40 minutes each half, and so that they're on there for 80 minutes. The game doesn't stop.
Oh, there's no timeouts?
No timeouts.
Wow.
Right. So the athletes progress, man. So they've got bigger, they've got stronger, and they play more. So they're hitting each other with forces that are, bigger, longer, and I just think that the training hasn't evolved where it needs to be. Specifically like knee strength, right? It's like the upper body and the whole quads and everything's all bigger, but we haven't strengthened the knees or we haven't strengthened the ankles. So it's like most of the injuries we get is like knees and ankles.
Right.
And I think it's crazy because I think like some of our biggest athletes over there, they've got injured. They come over to the US to do recovery, and some of our stuff's been in the facilities over here, and they're like, "Oh, where did you get this stuff from?" And they're like, "Oh, it's an Australian guy that does it." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know." I'm just like, so like it's we're more well known over here in the US than what we are in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Australia's behind.
Yeah, well, we're like,
He said, "Yeah."
we are definitely.
The US definitely sets a tone in certain markets.
In certain markets, yeah, but I feel like I would think that would be already over there already. I mean,
No.
because I hear some players that get injured here go out there and get treatment too.
Yeah,
Australia?
Certain doctors are better there.
something like
Didn't Kobe do that for his knee?
I think some kind of stem cell or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
because like a lot of our,
Because what's legal there isn't legal here. A lot of
Okay.
times,
So
like,
stem cells are legal there?
I think so.
from
Okay.
procedural
Yeah,
standpoint.
well, as much as I know, it's like nearly the opposite. Like all of our rugby league stars, when they get injured, they come here.
Okay.
It's like in rugby league's pretty much the biggest sport.
So were you pro? You were a pro rugby player?
No, not by far.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm really passionate about it because I think it's one, we should be educating like kids about our bodies a lot better than what we do.
Right,
so they're not
absolutely.
getting into the predicament of getting injured and preventing them
Absolutely.
to reaching where they should, a level they should in sport.
Right.
There's always going to be the accident that happens, and we can
Yeah.
never prevent that. But I think if there's all these little things like no one was teaching us to look at our ankles and our knees, and like it wasn't that. It was just like, how can we get bigger, stronger, faster?
Right.
So
And do these come in different colors, like red, white, pink, blue?
just in them ones, we just do blue and that black.
Okay.
I think
Will they come in other colors?
yeah, it just depends. Like we'll probably do like custom runs for like teams and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Is that the goal with the company? You want to go more wholesale model for teams?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's crazy because so many players in so many teams have got them, but just then the whole team hasn't got them, or like the what would you call it, the affiliation or the actual team themselves don't have them all. So it's just like, I don't know, like wholesale to like even gym lines, but I think it needs to come with like an education piece, like,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, because
This should be in gyms. I haven't seen it. in
Should be.
gym. Yeah.
Every gym should have something like
A
that.
couple.
I think like 90% of the population wouldn't be able to squat properly, right? So it's just like that ankle mobility is not there, and it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
it's not to make sure people don't work on the ankle mobility, but at the start when they go in, you know yourself, you use it, right? But you can do a squat on that, and how your quads feel, like
Oh, it burns.
yeah, right, and it's reducing the risk of injury because you haven't got any weight,
Right.
like you haven't got weights holding on your back, like you're not doing
Yeah.
a back squat,
I've never felt a quad burn like that in
Yeah.
my life.
which I try and tell everyone.
What
It's-
workout were you
it's
doing?
crazy.
on it?
Just squats, but you feel it in your quads.
But squats with no weight, you just going up and
Yeah,
down?
well, I hold it when I'm down, and it's just a burn.
Wow.
Because once your knee goes over your toe, it's more quad dominant, right? And like it's not upper quad, it's like lower quad into here. So that's
Oh,
like,
so it's knee strength.
just like literally focuses. You can feel this burning.
And these are good for stretching too.
Yeah. Because when I stepped on it, I felt instant stretch in the back of my legs.
Yeah, and then as I said,
Hamstrings.
you can do your calf. You can do there's soleus. There's so much you can do on it. So originally, when we first created it, was just to help people squat, and the evolutions come where
Yeah.
people were doing so many exercises on it.
So
What,
how, like how can you like how can as far as from like an evolution standpoint, like is there ways you can make this product better or harder to use, like more difficult or
that's
longer?
That's why we designed that one with the bands. So that's like another evolution. We've got another one that's like just 2 single ones. So like you can put your legs further apart, your feet further apart if you need to.
Okay.
And they stack on top of each other so they don't take up any room. And then we designed one for a couple of NHL players that goes both ways. So it's angled like that. It's on our website, but it's most people.
Wait, so it's angled like this?
Yeah, so when they'll nearly like how they're together, they're like that. So like when they're doing their plyometrics and they're just jumping off one board to the flat floor, it wasn't really suiting them because of how they skate.
Yeah.
Because their feet are like this all the time.
Oh, yeah, they go in a little bit.
Yeah,
makes
so they
sense,
wanted to
makes
jump
sense.
from one to the other.
Yeah.
And they just thought the slant board might tip if that, so they had to put it against a wall. But we said, oh, don't worry, we'll just design one board for you.
Wow, that's great customer service, man. You're designing a whole new product for an athlete.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we didn't really think anything of it. We sent it out to St. Louis, and he loved it. And then he posted about it a few times, and then just kicked off. And I'm just like, well, we may as well just
Make these
manufacture
for
these
hockey
ones.
players, yeah.
And we manufacture them all ourselves on the Gold Coast.
That's incredible.
So just about to stitch up some manufacturing here in the US.
Oh, nice. That's a rare thing to find.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, 3 months on a boat in a container's like
Too long.
Takes up a fair bit of cash flow.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
3 months. That's
It was stuck at the port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like it literally takes that long by the time.
Oh, it does. Oh,
yeah, because they're I mean they're 2 pounds each, right?
No, that's like 2.4 kilos. So I think it's about like 5.5.
5.5 pounds on the freight on the airplane. It'll cost too much in shipping.
Right.
It'll be way too heavy too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we used to until I don't know 3-4 months ago. We used to air freight every single one to the customer. Like yours was all air freighted.
yeah.
And like FedEx is 3 days, 4 days to you.
But what is the shipping cost?
I include it in the price. So
Yeah.
every product of ours got free shipping, but
Yeah.
Wow.
the disadvantage is like you can only get one in a box, right? But if you just flip the other one upside down, 2 of them could go in there. But you can't give 2 to the customers. It's
No,
just
you
like,
can't.
if you did it like that, it'd be perfect.
What advice can you give someone that has constant ankle sprains to strengthen their ankles?
I'd stretch, man. Just like constant stretching. That's probably what I'd do, and then just like more work around like the soleus. I found that
Where's the soleus?
it's right down the bottom here. So it's just like
Okay.
a lot of people don't really think about it. They're just like they work on their calf, but
Right.
the soleus. Most people say it's the strongest muscle in the body.
Really?
Wait, the soleus is what's the small muscle right there?
Yeah. So and then people come back and go, no, it's the tongue. It's this, but like technically, it's probably another muscle, but it's probably one of the strongest muscles in the body. But no one really focuses work on it. So it's like when you see people do a calf raise and their legs are straight, it's just really targeting their calf.
So you're saying to bend your leg when you do a calf raise?
Yeah, yeah. So if you watch some of these hockey players, and again, most of the education come from this ice hockey player over in St. Louis. But yeah, if your knee's over your toe, and then you do like a calf raise, you'll feel it hit
Really?
completely different. So it's
Oh,
obvious.
I got to start trying
Yeah,
that.
I never
Yeah,
even
try
tried
it.
that
It's
before.
like it's next.
I used to
level.
sprain my ankle every week, but I got an ankle brace, started stretching, started doing plyometrics. And
So when
abs.
you're doing calf raises, you want to kind of sit on them a little bit.
Yeah, bend your knee so it's like over your toe.
You know how you're
And then-
taught it's bad to bend your knee
Yeah.
over your toe? It's actually not bad.
Wow.
Oh, well,
Who teaches us this shit?
I think a lot of that was like that was back in the day, and I think it's just more end range, like if to try and get your body in positions that like you're going to be in when you play basketball, right? So
Right.
like everyone knows that when you play basketball, your knee does go over your toe.
Yeah.
But when we're training, if we're not putting our knee over our toe, then what's going to happen in the game?
Yeah.
Right.
Chance is you're going to get injured and you're going to hurt yourself. So
100%.
it's all different for everyone, you know. For your mum to say, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
complete end range, knee over toe," like it's not practical, right?
Yeah. I keep telling her to do like those tibialis raises and to walk backwards, but
Yeah.
it's not like a known thing. So she thinks it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and it's just, and they're little ones that you can, like, you know, the tib raise that you can lean up against the wall. Like you don't need equipment
Yeah.
for it, right? So
I do those like 4 days a week, and it's elevated my vertical. I feel stronger. My calves are looking better.
yeah, shin splints,
Yeah, haven't had those.
I have a problem with shin
Oh, you
splints.
do?
Oh, dude.
What advice can you give for shin splints?
tib raises. Just like you can do, Sean will be able to tell you can do them without any equipment up against the wall, just to failure until they'll burn. and it seems silly, but I think like after a week, 2 weeks, you notice a huge difference.
Yeah, you won't have them again.
Shin
Huge
splints
difference.
are like, even when just going on my walks, I get shin splints after a while.
Yeah.
Really?
6 mile. I mean, going 6 miles a day.
What do you think causes shin splints?
I think, isn't it separation from the actual bone itself in some aspect, or
I don't know.
this is like, it's a lot of pounding here. So what happens is, from what they say, it's like the muscle and the bone start to kind of separate a little bit. So that's why they have
Just wear and tear.
That's why they have the sleeves to
Okay.
keep the bone and the muscle together.
That's my whole point, right? Like no one taught you about shin splints or you about shin splints when we were younger. So it's
Yeah.
like, so you just got to deal with it, right? Deal with it and deal with it. And then someone comes out and goes, oh no, you can just, like, it's a simple exercise. Like, why aren't we teaching young kids that
Yeah.
at a young age?
I wish I had this when I was a distance runner because I had so many injuries. Because you're running 8-10 miles a day.
Yeah.
So,
That's a lot.
yeah.
Make a world of difference.
What about for people with knee issues?
What exercises to do
Yeah.
or what I recommend to do? Again, I'd probably, it depends. Like, this isn't medical advice, but like I'd start with just the walking backwards.
Walking backwards?
Yeah, like at probably 5 to 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And then progressively, like I said, you can go uphill. It's the same as when I hop on a slant board. It's there's step ups, step downs that you can do on there, squats. There's a few different ones you can do on there, and you just progress, like slowly progress. So like I wouldn't be going on there and just jumping on there with weight.
Right.
You know yourself, when you use your board, you don't really need weight. You can add weight, but yeah, there's probably just 3 or 4 exercises that I do, like walk backwards, squats, step up and step downs.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure, man. Any closing comments and where people can find you?
Just on Instagram, it's Slant Board Guy, and our website's just slantboardguy.com.
Perfect. Wayne?
At the creator on Instagram, right there.
There we go. Sean, Mike, Kelly, guys, thanks for tuning in. Digital Social Hour. I'll see you next week.
Peace.
Thank you.